Yo, Ben's Brave Baby Ben's here. Just posting video response, dude. I appreciate your input. It's great. Um, Although I don't agree with some of your points, because it seems to me that your logic, in my opinion, it goes. You've got good logic. It only you only use it to your advantage to a certain point. It's valid only to a certain point in the way that you think about it. I'm going to start off by saying the Amazing Atheist initial argument was Glenn Beck is racist because he's got black people on his show. He's trying to make it seem like he actually likes them. Yes, I took notes. I'm actually going to have a little more structure in this video. I think that's bullshit. Glenn Beck may seem like a racist because he doesn't like Obama. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. I think the Amazing Atheist is just a jackass. I think he's just over glorifying himself because he thinks because he's atheist that his point is valid and he's above everybody else because he's atheist and he has a different view and his view is always right because he questions everything that ever comes along. I don't know. I think there's a fundamental difference between black people in MLK's era and black people nowadays. I apologize for the lip. Yes, I'm dipping. Got my spit cup. Apologize if you find it disgusting. Again, back in the day, generally in post-slavery eras, there were black people trying to do better for themselves. They were buying land. They actually wanted education. Knowing how to read back then was a commodity. It wasn't looked down on. Uplifting yourself wasn't looked down on by your fellow black people. It was actually revered. You were revered if you wanted to do something better for yourself. Let's see here. Again, they respected people of their own background. Moving on up, so to speak, look at the Jeffersons, prime example of how our societal outlook on the black success has changed from then to now. I'll break it down for you. Jeffersons, moving on up. It's great. The theme song says it all. Moving on up. Doing good for yourself. Even though you're black, you're living in a white community. Yeah, it's a stupid term sometimes. I think white culture isn't a stupid term. It's a proper term, I guess, because there's a big culture difference between whites and blacks, if you will. I also think it's funny how you say government is white people in power, hence the term the man, and public enemy number one's term white power. But what is Obama doing? You say Glenn Beck hates Obama because he's a black man in power, but being a black man in power doesn't change shit for Obama. He forced stimulus money down banks' throats. What I mean by that is he gave them 3 hours to decide whether or not they wanted stimulus money. What the fuck would you do if you were a bank struggling to make it because of this economic crisis? You would take that money, wouldn't you? But ironically, that money wasn't used to help the people that the bank fucked over. The money was actually used to up the ante on bonuses. Bonuses were, I don't know, I don't remember what the statistic was, but after the stimulus money was put into banks' hands, there was a lot of bonus money being put out. Not a lot of it was used constructively, or not a lot of it was used beneficially to our advantage. We were just making the people that made the financial crisis that much richer, which doesn't help shit. So to say that Glenn Beck hates a black man in power, it's not that he's black. Obviously, him being black doesn't influence his policy because he continues to pay off the overpowered politicians, whether they're white or not, in this over-centralized government. It's Obama's policies and what he's doing that Glenn Beck doesn't agree with. It's not that he's black. That's just what you want to believe. And that, in my opinion, is racist. Because you don't look at what's actually happening. You just look at Glenn Beck, doesn't like a black president. Oh, racism card, throw it out. Oh, shit, racism. It's racist for you to call your own fellow black man fucking whitey. Because he's dressing nice and he actually respects himself enough to, separate himself from the rest of today's societal norm. And I just think that's fucked up. Um, Glenn Beck's point in having black people on the show, to begin with, is to show that no, this healthcare bill is not in the best interest of everyone. Pretty much what the healthcare bill is doing is taking money from middle class people, giving it to lower class people. I don't agree with that. If you're in the lower class and you actually want money, go out and do something. Join the military. Do something. Find a way to make money for yourself. Why go out and do things that are only going to get you killed and only going to hold your people down? I mean, welfare keeps black people in black communities. What are people doing projects? I see it on, I was just watching History Channel today. Gang wars. What the fuck? How much do you want to bet those people on welfare? Yet their sons are out slanging drugs. What do the drugs do? Sell drugs to black people. Sell crack to black people. Mind you, crack was not invented by white people. Crack was invented, or cocaine, or crack, not cocaine. Crack was invented by a Crip on the West Coast. So you tell me who's holding who down. Accepting welfare, selling drugs to people, keeping those people in the area. It's a liberal policy, and it's fucked up on the liberals' part. If they really wanted to uplift the black person, help them out, like I said in my other video, they'd be giving them money to get people that actually valued their education that our system offers, sometimes not in impoverished area, poverty-stricken area, impoverished. I don't even know if that's a fucking word. If we really cared about the welfare of our black people, or the black culture, or the black community, we would try to lift them out of the situation instead of keeping them where they're at, making them addicts or making them gangbangers that eventually only kill themselves off. I think that in many of these cases, there's people that are all too willing to look at things without even thinking about anything that anybody's saying. My example being the Glenn Beck show. You just look at it and say, oh, well, he's just racist because he doesn't like the black president. Why doesn't he like the black president? It's not because he's black. I'll tell you what's racist. Voting for the president, or voting for Obama, because he's black. And I hate to say it, but there's more black voter turnout in the last election than any other fucking election. You want to know why? Because people say, oh, change. We want change. We want change. Why do you want change? Do you know why you want change? Did you actually take a look at his policies before you go voting for the person that has a little more color in their skin? Generally speaking, I don't think so. And as far as your dad goes, mad props to your dad. But graduating from Harvard is an accomplishment in and of itself. Whether you're white, black, Indian, Middle Eastern, doesn't fucking matter. I know a lot of white kids down at Poly's. I only say this because I think you're mixed. I believe your dad's black. Correct me if I'm wrong. But there's a lot of white kids down in Poly's. Multi-million-dollar land owned by them. Acres and acres of land. Government is trying to take control of it, but they're kind of resisting. My point being, they're white and they're rich. They could go to Harvard. I mean, ideally speaking, they could go to Harvard. But Harvard is an accomplishment for anybody, white or black. As far as ostracizing goes, I was saying black people call us racist or call white people racist when, for whatever reason, when it's black people that fall into this societal mindset of the government owes me something. So when there's another black person that wants to lift himself out of the situation by dressing nice or by actually trying to educate themselves, they get ostracized by the rest of the community by, when they say, oh, you're trying to fit in with the white folks. That's bullshit. Welfare is bullshit, man. I hate to say it. Welfare is bullshit. I already said it. If the government really cared about black people, if liberals really cared about black people, they wouldn't be holding them down, because that's essentially what they're doing with the welfare system, which is what I said in my last video. They'll be giving out vouchers, which is what another black lady said on Glenn Beck's show. They'll be giving out vouchers if they really cared about black people to help them get out of the area, help them get out of the fucked up school systems that are implemented in those areas, and get them back on their feet and doing what they want to do, which is getting education and doing good for themselves.